Welcome to another Mod Monday. Now today's episode is going to be all about the container and container chassis. As you can see, I got a prime example set up right here with a 40-foot chassis and a 40-foot container here. You can see by the numbers here, 40-foot SC. We don't offer any overheight ones in this mod, but we do have the regular size ones, and I open up the door just to show you guys a little bit inside. Wood floors, steel roof, steel walls all around. This is a really nice container. Looks really good. Doors open and close very much like in real life. This is also part of a Super B chassis, so you can hook up another trailer in behind right on that fifth wheel. And to show you what that looks like, I've got a 20-foot chassis right here hooked up with a fifth wheel to another 20-foot pup and behind, and you can see that makes like a nice little train. Now the way these things hook up, you take your container, you place them on the trailer, much like I'll be doing right here. You can see I got my loader. It's got the fork pockets down at the bottom there. Pretty sure you guys can see it. My forks are in those fork pockets. Lift it up, place it on the chassis here as best as you can. You can see, if I jump up on here, you can see a crossbar with the little black boxes there at the end. That is kind of the corners of where you want to have your container. There you go, is the back end. And these are called twist locks. So what you want to do is keep your container as close as you can to your twist locks, because what will happen once the container's on there and it's settled in place, you can see a little lever right here that is going to turn to this side to lock the container in place. This black trailer or a black container here I do have locked in place, and you can see that the lever is now moved to the right hand side versus the left here. Another thing I should mention is that when you're placing your container, you may want to ensure that your doors are not facing each other, because then you won't be able to open them. This one, I have the doors facing the middle. Was not intentional, I just did not pay attention to it. It would make it really hard to unload. Whereas this one here, you can see I have the doors to the back. With the pink one here, once again I have my doors the wrong way, but it doesn't matter as far as hooking up. It will still hook up every bit the same. In fact, why don't we try it right now? I'll see if I can load this container. Any wheel loader will work for an empty 20-foot container. I was able to use this wheel loader for the 40-foot container. You see it hooked up on the truck. It handled it quite well. So we are really close. It looks like I might be off just a tad. So I'm gonna just back it up ever so slightly. Oh, looks like something like so. There we go. Let's see if we can get out of there without causing too much disturbance. So it was not a perfect hookup. You can see my twist locks are not exactly in the corner, as well as over here it looks like I got just a little bit shy. I bet you if I bump the corner of this container, I could probably straighten that out somewhat, but I will have to be very careful. And when you see, that's what I'm talking about, being very careful. My tractor went too far. You don't have to be perfect when you set these containers on there. It's not going to require you to have it perfect, but it should be relatively well centered on your frame. Just line up the truck real quick, back it underneath. There we go, and you can see it says attached lizard 20-foot. So there you go, you saw it slide in place. Okay, now for the lever lock that we have here, I don't know how well you can see it. Maybe on the other side it would be a cleaner demonstration. So now, simply by picking the correct trailer and pressing the correct button to lock the twist lock, watch the lever. There we go. You saw something spin at the bottom. Now that chassis is locked to the container, and even if I roll this truck off of a mountainside, nothing will happen. 20-foot containers are very popular where I'm from. We do have lots of 40-footers as well, but 20-footers are very common, especially for people who have hobby farms or you know, people looking for that storage space. 20-footers would definitely be ideal for them. And you can see they move around really well. Now the container mod offers many different options. So you have this one which has an open top. We'll take the open top off for just a sec, and you can see it's like a grain hopper. In the back we have a little door so we can dump grain out, and yes, you can get the Super B chassis that has a tilt function. I didn't opt for that one right now simply because it wasn't in my interests. There's your 30 to 35 foot, 40 to 45, and then we have the little flatbeds. So again, let me just kind of show you what it looks like. There we are. So this will fit right on your chassis, and it gives you a bed. Looks very similar to what a rail bed would be too. And then we have the standard container. As you can see here, this is the one we have, the blue one. Very straightforward stuff. And the standard container you can also get with doors on the side. Now this would be really nice for storing implements in, or if you have seeds or whatever on pallets. This would be a nice unit to use. But onto these Super B chassis. So here you got your 20-footer, 25, 30. You can see it gets longer all the time. And then we got the 40-footer with 3 axles, as well as a 40-footer with 4 axles, and a 45-foot with 3 axles, 45-foot with 4. Now, the only difference really here is 1 extra axle, and the frame is lengthened a fair bit. But what I did want to show you is when I call for tension belts. So we're going to go back here to the 40-footer. So when we call for tension belts, what happens is there's a whole extra frame you can see here. In fact, let's change this color just so you guys can see this a little better. So without tension belts, you just have that narrow main frame, and then with tension belts you get a much wider frame. So this got me thinking, you know, what else could we load on these 40-foot frames? And that's what we want to test next. So what I did, I took a 40-foot frame. You can see it's got the chassis there, the full chassis, the wide one, and I was able to lock a 40-foot container on there. And what I was hoping to do was to put this bale, a cotton bale, inside of here. I was not able to. I could get just a little bit poked in there, but I was not able to push it in. So then I tried the 40-foot flat deck, and as you can see, it's not perfect, but we did get 5 bales on there. So that, you know, so much for that, 5 bales. But I was curious, can we do better? So I went and looked at a few other mods. So we have the this gooseneck trailer, which it's on a 50-foot length, and it also holds 5 bales, and there's still gaps. So I could have definitely, you know, 5 is plenty. Like, it reaches right to the end. It's perfect. So this one here seems to be in a bit of a squeeze. Now, that being said, I figured, well, what about just the standard trailer in game? And wouldn't you know it, we can get 7 bales just on a standard trailer. I think this is the Load King Renown. And it's just a plain old simple trailer. Like you can see, it's my bales are barely touching each other, and yes, the last one is kind of hanging off a little bit, but it's staying in place. So there you go. There's a bit of a comparison from one chassis to another, and you can see the different sizes that you can get on there. I think this drop deck that I'm in currently really benefits from having the neck as usable storage space. Otherwise it probably would have only handled 6, and if I had, you know, pushed it a little further up, I think that last bale would have looked a little bit more intelligent, but that is sort of besides the point. So I decided to experiment with using these big square cotton bales, and I think that a 45-foot chassis would indeed do better than a 40 like we have here. It would give us an extra 5 feet, which would be almost enough, and also having a longer frame on this truck would be very beneficial. But it does go to show that you can place bales on it, and they do stay really well. It's surprising how nicely they lined up on there. So I am very happy with that, and I think if you guys are going to be using this for cotton bales, especially the square variety, just make sure that you guys have the 45-foot so that you guys can maximize your payload. I'm going to finish loading these cotton bales on here, and then we're going to go off to the spinnery, or whatever you want to call it, the place where we unload all of our cotton bales, and we're going to go see what kind of money we made. I do notice that my bales are glitching quite badly on, yeah, there we go, and that is why. It looked like I may have uncoupled my flat deck there, and I don't know if there's a good way to hook it up. I don't think we can just drive beside it and hook up. I don't see that as being possible. We can try, see if there's anything. Yeah, it just says detach. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's not going to work. Okay, so much for that. That was fun while it lasted, I suppose. Well, now, it seems we've come across a predicament. I just grabbed some 45-footers. And the back straps down, although it straps to nothing, which is interesting. But the front end has no mounts to strap anything. So the front does not strap, which kind of defeats the purpose of using a 45-footer, right? Unless, of course, we wanted to, maybe we have a, yeah, we could take this and we could make this a 45-footer. Oh, this is auto load. I don't know if it would do cotton or not. With wood extensions. Okay, cool. We have the high cube auto load. Come on, where's our 45-footers? There we go. 45-foot. We could do this. Now I don't know if those auto loads, if they'll do cotton or not. I haven't tried. Maybe that's what we'll have to do. We'll have to see if we can get one with a regular and one with the Unreal. So 45-foot Unreal. Let's just to make sure we have something different this time. Let's go with that cloth green. There we are. Release it. Yes. Thank you. And then we're going to go with the 45-foot auto load, just the regular one. And this time let's go for like a pink chrome. There we are. Release that as well. Okay, so we will be right back. Alrighty, well, we solved 2 mysteries. First off, I figured out what the auto load thing was, and that is for pallets. So this thing can load up pallets. It is not for bales. And secondly, why don't we just kind of hop on the wheel loader so you can see it better. we will not be able to get a third square bale in here. So 45 feet is not enough. Good to know though. We could probably still put a couple round in here and still make it work somehow, right? And with the flat deck, we are able to strap everything down as much as we want. In fact, I could probably show you by... Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. And it looks like the front did not strap. Interesting. Well, would you look at that? So, that is quite something. Anyway, I guess we figured that out. And finally, we have the grain box. So this is a container as well. You can get with a tarp on it or without. Fits on a chassis, whatever chassis you choose. And I have the 20-footer here. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go over to the elevator and I want to load this up with some kind of grain or fertilizer or seed or something. Alright, let's see this thing load up some grain. Oh, looks like we're too tall for this combine. That is most unfortunate. We're making this episode longer than it need be. Anyway, I have a second plan. Hold on. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see this box get filled in with wheat. Look at that. It all works out. I love having that drive over auger, by the way. That is a fantastic mod. I've always appreciated it, and it's just great. There you go. And now, just for fun, I'm going to turn that truck off. We're going to go to deliver this to a, well, is this a purchase field or is this, yes, it's a purchase field. Very good. So why don't we just go deliver this to an elevator somewhere? I figured we could try the animal dealer, seeing as this guy always wants more grain. So here we go. Now just watch that back door. There you go. Doesn't open very far. You can see that gap is still pretty small. And we can open the tarp while we're unloading. And there you have it. Look at that. That is kind of cool. Now I'd like to see some real flat decks on these so we could tip stuff with a flat deck. I wonder how fun that would be, especially for dumping bales. Gotta be done. I gotta try that at some point. But that's it. I think that's enough for this video here. You guys have no doubt seen enough. So thank you guys very much for watching. And hopefully we can make this Mod Monday more of a constant series. But in the meantime, you guys have yourself a good day. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.